Good morning, traders. Let's get back to the action and see what we can come up with. I'm in the zone. I'm ready. Already had some charts that I did yesterday, ready to get into the action. And guess what? You small traders out there, I'm talking to you out there. I've been looking at those stocks. Let's find out what I got today. Smash the like. Let's get it started. Live trading with Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning, traders. How we doing out there? I'm ready to get into the action. Going to go ahead and bring up my screen here. And of course, my dude, Ryan Faloona in the house. Smash the like. Let's go. It's Tuesday. Fat Tuesday.
Is it actually Mardi Gras? Is it Fat Tuesday today?
I think it is. I heard a lot of people mentioning it. But hey, who knows? I haven't been to Mardi Gras myself, so I'm not going to act like the biggest expert. I still wanted to. I will say that. But let's talk about what we're looking at today. I was looking at a little bit at Chevron. Of course, you guys know how I've been looking at the SPY. Can we get back above the 410s? We talked about on Friday, we did a red line here for red continuation, downside. What would we look for? Below 405. Yes, we were looking at resistance at the 408 level. Would we get back to the daily range? We could not get back towards 408. We couldn't get back to 410, definitely. Now we're back towards 403. This tells me more and more that we're pulling back. Does it mean that we're crashing completely? No, that's not the mentality that I would have. But I do see maybe a pullback closer towards this 420 spot. Right? I could see it pulling back towards 400 and then maybe finding some buy the dippers. That's where we got to keep watch to see what happens there. If we blow through the 400, that's where it gets a little bit concerning. The concerning levels for me, at least if I was a bull, would be what? Getting us back into the trend, right? This long trend here. That would be a move back towards 390s. So we still got room there, right? We got about, let's say 13 points till we get there. So I wouldn't stress too much about like just, the end of the world is coming yet until I get back into that range, right? Because we could bounce. We could do what's called the throwback look. We talk about this throwback look all the time, where a stock breaks above the trend line, pulls back to the trend line, and then gives you that lift, right? That's still a possibility, right? And I think that that's a possibility that we need to keep in mind. So in this case, what are we doing? In my outlook right now, I'm looking at short-term trades to the short side, long-term trades still to the short side, and in the middle of that, there's a lot of kind of this in-between trade. Like if I was thinking about 3 weeks now, or a couple, like let's say a month or two out, it could be an in-between trade. What do I mean by that? Sideways action. I could see sideways action coming from like the next month or two, where we could get a pullback to 400 and stay between, let's say, the 390 and the 400 for a little while until we figure out, are we coming back to real bull market, or is the recession concerns coming back? I'm not going to worry about that for the short term, because right here on this show, that's what we focus on a lot of the times, more the day trading action. So let's get back to the hourly chart. That's what helps me, I feel, more and more on this outlook, right? And so what am I looking there? Well, we had the rule of 3 come into play. We had this fourth attempt to break out, wasn't able to do it. We rejected support now. Now we look to see, can we come back to support, right? Prior support. So I'm going to take these boxes down so it doesn't annoy us with the action. Now 408 is that level to recover for the bulls. And right now, 405 is the immediate resistance to get through. If we can't get through 405, in no means am I going to be trading towards the upside. The only way that I can look for upside action is for value names. And I do have some swings on today. I have KHC from 39.73. We're at 40. I'm going to look for value names to get the pushback. Value names have been really kind of destroyed since the beginning of the year. You can see June 3rd, this had a little bit of a bounce, pulled back, has gone sideways. I have this kind of rectangle pattern here for Kraft Heinz. I want to see it push towards 41. If it can push towards 41, I'll be feeling confident about this position. Another thing is you see how the 9 EMA is starting to move slightly below the price action. That's a good level to watch for. Right now, 39.92s for pullbacks. Let's see if we can get it to 41. I'm going to take a look at like PG, names like that, Procter & Gamble starting to come back, Clorox. Let's see if this can come back. Just hold this kind of gap island right here. It's not a completely floating island, but it's something that I'm keeping to watch, because if you look to the left, we've gapped up and there's a bigger gap to the left to fill up there towards 160. I'm going to keep this one on watch. Clorox. You guys can keep your eyes on some other names. Johnson & Johnson's definitely one that's on my radar today. Whether this be a day trade or swing trade, I'm more looking at this as a swing trade, but I will let you guys know I will be looking at Johnson & Johnson for a trade today. I still have UAL swing trade. We have that from 49.04s. Going to keep watch on this one because the daily chart put a nice little bottoming level here that we shouldn't really break through now, which is like that 49. We can have cut throughs there, but we shouldn't see you closing below that 49. I'm looking for a move back up towards 50 and 51. We'll see what happens on UAL. And last one to mention, because I do have multiple trades on, is ITW. Going to look to see if this one can come back up through 240s. On Friday's action, we were up there to 242. So if it could get back to that level and take out that high, I really like ITW. That's a diversified industrial play. We'll see what happens with that one. Keep your eyes also on GE. That's a diversified industrial. If it wants to go higher or lower through the 80s or higher through 84. That's going to do it for my outlook today. I'm going to go ahead and kick it to Ryan. I'm sure he has some stocks to watch. And then when I come back after Ryan, I'm going to try to save at least a little bit of a time before the open. I took a lot of Snapchats because I was talking to a friend on my phone, and we were just running through some of these cheaper stock charts throughout the weekend. So I got some good ones for you guys coming up, but I'm going to let Ryan go ahead and kick some.
Well, Mitch, that's really awesome, because I'll be honest, I was doing a whole bunch of catch-up work and I actually haven't even reviewed the list of stocks on the movers tool. So we're going to do it together, but I may not have a whole lot and may need you to come back. So whatever you need to do, go do it and get back here.
Let's go.
I absolutely love the energy in the chat. You folks are the wind beneath our wings. Good morning to everybody out there. Alicia, Old School, Chiffon, Becca, Richard Judge, Ryan, Kaylee. Happy Fat Tuesday. Happy Mardi Gras to everyone. It looks to be the case.
Yeah.
First of all, a couple of things here. First of all, Crow, my man, looking sharp in that suit and tie. Way to go, man. Dress for success, looking real sharp. And then the other question is, Becca, I don't know if I've ever asked you, that Airstream trailer, is that yours? Because that is pretty cool too. Looking good as always on a Tuesday morning. Absolutely love it, chat. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Good to see you all. Jesse, Lord Hernandez. Lord, hopefully the lady is doing well. Also, let's first take a look at the SPY. Mitch set us up with the SPY. Here's what I'm looking at. So first of all, where we're at right now, we're currently at 3058, excuse me. We are right at the bottom of this channel that has proved to be resistance and support recently. This is a recent range here where we've definitely found support and resistance. Now, the last time that we were in this range, we bounced out of it. Now we've kind of entered back in it, and now we're going to the bottom of that range. So to me, the question today about today's trading session, I just have one right now. Do we actually continue to break down after this open, or do we kind of just hang here or maybe even bounce? The last couple of times that we've actually gapped lower, sure, we've had some reaction right out or right past the open where we've maybe sold off a little bit, but we've never really broken down further. We've never really taken that next leg down. We've often stabilized, traded sideways, or even bounced in some cases. In one case, we bounced and then returned all the way back down to the low. So for today, I want to see, does this level hold? Now, remember, I'm looking at this on kind of a longer term perspective. So if right out of the open, we start to break down here, that's one thing. If it happens on high volume, like high volume, that's quite another thing. But I want to see what happens here, and I want to give it today, right? we might not know within the first 30 minutes or an hour where the day is going to take us, but this is definitely something that I'm going to monitor. We've talked a lot about some of these metrics recently. One of the other ones that goes into this is going to be the VIX, right? We traded down into an 18 handle and the VIX has bounced from there, currently at 2244. So a 4.5 point bounce on the VIX from the last time we've got into the 18 handle. We seem to do that every time we get down there. The exception would be on the last run where we actually got to the 17 handle and then bounced from there. So this is what I'm going to be watching in terms of the overall market. Now, a couple of things to take note of here. First of all, if we bounce, I definitely expect some resistance at the 408, at the top of this area that we've carved out, without a doubt. That's going to be the first step. If we're able to break that resistance, we'll see if we end up clearing out some of these candles, go as high as 414. Do we run as high as 420? I don't know. We'll see. To me, my stance, if you will, my thought on this is that we are probably, the lows probably aren't in. I still think at some point this year, we're going to test this 360 low. Obviously, that's not on deck here for today. So if we break down here, where do we go next? Well, to me, the 50 days sounds about right? That's got 396.76. Let's call it 397. That's only 6 SPY points away from where we're at. I feel like we could easily do that in a day or two here. Right under that is the 200-day moving average. Should offer some more support there. That's at 393.26-ish. So let's call it 393. So those are kind of the spots that I'm looking at. We do have this 395 spot. I would say this entire range here would be a support area, and that's if we continue to break down. Well, we've yet to see if that's going to happen here. So we shall see. One more thing that I want to take a look at here. I want to update you on ADI because it looks like we might be getting our entry here. So we talked about the floating island trade and how these end up working. And we talked about how what we really want to do is see this come down and hold. Well, guess what, folks? We are within 3 cents of the line that I marked off here. I marked off 191.09. Current price here is 191.12. And in the pre-market, it actually looks like we went beneath this line. So not necessarily going to enter it right out of the open here, but definitely going to watch this for today. The target that I'm looking for here is going to be options, right? I'm going to be looking for the March 17 contract. That's my birthday. So hopefully I get a little birthday luck added into this trade. We'll see. I'm looking at the 195, the 197.5, and the 200. The pricing on those are going to be what determine whether or not we end up taking this trade, and then how this actually trades here today. But this is a swing. We're stalking entry. Today looks pretty good. If we do this, I'll let you know what the risk is. Possible that this doesn't actually happen until after the show. So if that's the case, we'll update you again tomorrow. Now, let's dive over to the movers list. Okay. I see you guys chatting in here. Okay, awesome. I will catch up on those shortly. Let's go ahead and run through the movers list here real quick. So number one, MOB. This is Mobilecom. This is definitely on watch here today. Mobilecom shares are trading higher after the company announced it has entered into a strategic partnership with Mistral, which I'm not familiar with, a prime contractor for the U.S. Department of Defense. Okay, pretty good. Let's identify our levels. First one here, bottom side level, 251. Let's just call it, you know what? I'm actually just going to call this 250. Okay, boom, 250, our downside support. Next levels are going to be, can we clear out this, and this one right here. Okay, so we've got 267, 284, and 305. Those are going to give us mile markers on a trade. Well, again, what I'd like to see here first is across through 267 on volume. Let's see, we've got the VWAP right beneath it at about 265 here. So this is really what we're going to be looking for here. A move up through that VWAP, through that 267. If we get good volume and get good buying, I think 284, probably the next target. I'd actually peel some off there. It's almost 20 cents above, 17 cents above. For a scalp, for a very, very quick trade, definitely take half the position off. If we continue to run, 305 is that pre-market high. If we break 305, maybe we get a little bit more on there. Now, let's go ahead and check out a couple more charts just so we go into this a little bit better. Okay, 15-minute looks good. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot on there. And then the daily. So if we take a look at the daily, boy, we have a rounding bottom here. Where's Neil? right? The king of the rounding bottoms. Looks like this is what we got here. So if we break this, it looks to me like the next spot up on the daily is going to be about 360, 361 there. I still think that this 668 high, this is probably out of the question, but we'll go ahead and mark it off 665 thereabouts. So MOB definitely on watch today. Let's see where we go here. Currently at 255, would love to see a move through that 267 right there. Next is going to be ARBE. So here's another one. This is ARBE Robotics. Now, one thing to mention here real quick. I'm a big fan of these robotics plays. I also have been viewing this AI fad, which I've called it a fad. I believe that there's a robotics angle to this that maybe we don't fully understand. So I'm going to give these robotics plays a benefit of the doubt. Now, as it comes to ARBE, I have no idea what this company does, what this company is. I certainly need to do some work on it, but I might not have time to do that before it presents a day trading opportunity here today. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to day trade this, maybe look into this, see if this makes sense for a swing or a longer term play. I have no context on that yet. I will update you if I get that. Now, taking a look at this is really following the pattern that we absolutely love, right? Sets a high, comes back in, and then trades through that high on volume. This has been a bread and butter of the day trading that I've been doing since we started the show. Some days it works better than others. ARBE looks, in the pre-market at least today, looks pretty good. So what we're going to be looking at here is just some more of these levels. Definitely found some support there at 646. Let's go ahead and mark off just a couple more of these. And that high. I'm not sure about this one. This almost looks like a little bit of a fake breakout, but we shall see. Now, okay, so first of all, this stock was in the $4 handle yesterday. We're up 52%. We're up $2.30. We were as high as $7.70, and we've retraced about $1 of that move here. So it'll be interesting to see what the next move is here. To me, to my eye, again, I'm bullish all of the time for the most part. It sure looks like this wants to cross up through that VWAP and maybe that 695 area. We'll take a look at that. That's one of the first things we're going to be watching here. Running out of time here, so I'm going to keep moving. Next here is going to be CMMB. This is one of the therapeutic stocks. So this matches our theme here. We do have a catalyst here. Chemomab. That's fun to say. Chemomab. Probably not Chemomab. Chemomab Therapeutics. Shares are trading higher after the company announced FDA clearance of its investigational new drug application to evaluate CM101 in a phase 2 trial in adults with systemic sclerosis. Okay, so there's your catalyst for it. Again, a lot of these medical catalysts definitely require more digging into. I certainly don't pretend to know them. I basically just identify if I see catalysts that have patterns, then it's reasonable to assume the stock might trade like that in the future. These FDA new clearance and the drug application, these generally at least provide a short-term pop. Question is did the short-term pop happen here in the pre-market? I want to wait and see how this actually trades during the regular session. As you can see, we've broken down. We're almost at this 239 support level. We're a little extended away from the VWAP. But remember, some of these curl trades have been working better than the range breaks to the upside. So maybe we do find some support around this 239, 240 area and then curl back up towards that VWAP. VWAP currently at 266-ish. That gives us about 26 cents from the bottom of that support area to the VWAP. Some pretty good opportunity to scalp in there. Lo and behold, AMC is in the news again. You AMC players, I'm just going to skip this as I always have been, but taking a look at it, that 533, we broke through that on this expanding volume, gives us the formation we're trying to trade here. So worth noting, weren't there some superhero movie release, something this weekend? I don't know. You guys probably know better than I do. Interestingly enough, sure looks like it wants to break out from this 553, 555 area, right? Near term triple top here. The more we bang on that, the more likely it is to break out. Keep in mind, if you play this, have your risk parameters set. This one's been kind of nasty in both directions for us, so just understand what it is that you're dealing with. Couple of pieces of news here. Meta, they're going to try doing the subscription thing like Twitter for Snapchat, or for Instagram and Facebook. We'll see if it works. This was rather predictable. Elon bad, spaceman bad. Oh, but we're going to copy him anyway because he does look like he's doing some things. Just it is what it is. I'm not sure that this actually moves the needle. Again, I hate this stock. I think this company's poisonous. That's just my own personal bias. The other thing here is that these S&P and semiconductor ETFs, these have been great. They still remain great. We're not going to go over them, but those could be trading vehicles here today. Okay, that I got all that stuff done. Mitch is still not back, so let me catch up here on the chat here real quick. Let's see. Good morning. There's the opening bell. Beck says, I wish. It's a place called the Shady Dell, a little Airstream hotel. Okay, cool. That's actually not a bad idea. Pretty awesome. INDI pulling back, says Sabrina. Sorry, I know that the market opened. I'm going to go ahead and flip over here.
Sorry about that, team. Forgot to take the trash out. Got in trouble.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life. Don't upset her. We need you on the future shows here.
Already getting Johnson & Johnson to push a little bit here, so I'm looking for a pullback to get a little bit of entry here. Just need a little bit of more pullback here. It already gave it to me out the gates there towards 159. I didn't get a chance to add some there. So looking for a slight tick down below 159.60s here to get a first entry on Johnson & Johnson. All right, I might take my first one here in the 80s. Let's see if I can get to the 60s. Come on, just a little bit more. 73. All right, I think I just got it there. Let's see if we got it. No fill there. Trying to get filled right now. We got filled already. There we go. Got it. 159.59 there. So let's see if we can get an add down below this towards the 159. This is a swing trade style. We'll keep watch on that one. ITW not starting off the best, but we'll look to see if that one can recover. Looking at the SPY right now, we are getting a little bit of a bounce. We could do like kind of a red to green move on the overall move. It could come back towards, let's say, like 404.68s. We're going to look to see if we get through the 403 level. For those smaller plays, I got you guys right now. Just give me a quick second as I focus on Johnson & Johnson, see if I can get some ads for the swing. Keeping an eye also on the other swing trades on this. So we'll put Johnson & Johnson up because that's what I'm focusing on. And I'll let you know if I get some ads. Just got the first entry. We'll look to see if we get back down to 159.25s to do another ad and then 159.
And real quick here, MOB, kind of a nasty move out of the gate, right? First move was a trade back up. We actually did go through that VWAP. Let me go ahead and turn that on. We actually did go through that VWAP, but immediately got yanked back. So remember, this is some of the things that we've seen. Those break hires haven't always been great. Really, the success percentage has come in on those. Now let's see where we end up trading down to and bottom. Maybe right here at 230 and then maybe also 190. So we're going to kind of wait this one out. I think there are a couple of other people watching this. Let me know if you guys have any levels. I actually, like I said, I didn't go through some of it. I didn't go through much of a deeper dive. Gosh, easy for me to say on some of these charts here. Don't really see them, though. We are pretty extended here on MOB, so just something to keep in mind. And one more thing I wanted to shout out, Noel, if you're out there, awesome call on EOSE. So if you recall last week here on EOSE, let me actually get to the 5-minute chart so we can see a little bit better what's going on. We actually traded this a little bit in the morning, got stopped out on it. Big move came in the afternoon. Remember, this is one of those that you should have wrote down on your notepad. Maybe you would have come back to it, EOSC, and then in some continued move here today. So let's see if it can actually break that 225, 226 area to the upside. A good shout here, Noel. You were all over this. Hopefully you traded it better than I did.
See my bird asked on the chart. Trying to get another ad there for Johnson & Johnson towards 159. 25s, put the order out there, didn't get the fill on that pullback. Of course, it didn't get to the level, so just going to keep watch on there. So here's the charts here for you guys that I was looking at here. Sorry that I had to deal with something in the background there, but here's, I'm going to put it up in the chat there. Oh, man, it put it all next to each other. All right, let me see.
Yeah, it did that to me too, Mitch. That did that to me too.
I'll put a dash in between these so that it doesn't do it at least as bad there. I'm trying to help you guys out and give you guys these that were on my watch. Just give me a second here. The first one was ACHV. I'm going to take a look through these in a second. Just kind of watching Johnson & Johnson, but I'll put it on the side chart for me so I don't have to keep watching it. put it above me. There it goes. And now I'll go through these charts. So the first one up, ACHV. All right, so I just went through a relative scanner for these, was looking at daily charts. Some of these can be smaller names, so just keep an eye out. Look at the volume on this one. It's slower, but it does have a nice little pattern. I'm looking for it to get back towards 6. We'll see what happens on this one. All right, let's keep going. I got another one there, ACER. We'll look to see what happens with this one. CPSI. Look, this is a computer programmed one. This one's actually interesting. The daily chart on this one looks really interesting. You can see it here setting up. Just had like an inside day on Friday. Let's see if it gets back through those highs, 3158. ELMD. Got Electromed. This one's been just ripping, big kind of parabolic stock. Very low volume trade on this one, though. Just be careful with these names. Of course, these are just technicals that I'm finding. Got to do a little bit more research if I really want to get into a lot of these. But look at this EOLS. Had 4 million shares traded there on prior day. I'm going to look to see if this one can get some volume and come back up there towards the 10s. And one that I did definitely like that daily chart was Indie. I don't know if you guys have been watching this one. Indie Semiconductor. It's just been completely ripping. We'll look to see if it can continue through 10 today. I like the pullbacks to 980s, 990s, and then a turnaround back through 10.
Okay, real quick here, a couple of things I want to cover. First of all, where is Baby Cat? Baby Cat came in here, said hello, said, where's Shelly? She's never around, so he left.
Right.
So the fact that you pop in real quick and disappear, he does the same thing. He's gone. Sorry about that. Second of all, down to brass tacks here, a couple of things I wanted to cover here. Number one, Becca's saying JELD out of the gate. So this is an interesting one. This is actually a stock I've never traded or held. I believe this is a Chinese name. Window manufacturer. Nope. Okay, no. Totally wrong there. Anyway, window and door maker. The interesting part here, definitely a huge breakout through this 14. They had earnings, which is why they're actually trading up here today. So big beat there on the EPS and sales. Looks like they guided higher as well. So JELD moving here on earnings. No feel for this. No, haven't traded this. So definitely be one I watched today. Maybe we'll have some future trades on this. If you guys have any trades lined up on any of this, would love to know some more of the context or some of the due diligence that you've done. Next here, real quick, Crow Summit on the daily chart. So interesting thing here about Summit. Remember, this we've traded a number of times off of the relative volume scanner. It's been quite good to us. If we take a look here, ignore the blue lines. Those were done from the relative volume in the pre-market. So those are more short-term levels. But one of the things that Crow is watching here, let's go ahead and turn this off. Let's go ahead and turn the 200-day on. So this is what happened, right? Summit, big pop. We've really kind of come in towards that 200-day. Now, we didn't quite get down there, right? Off by about 40 cents. But it does look like it's trying to bounce. So, Crow, you're looking to swing this back up to 4. 4 puts us right here. So that retraces probably about 50% of this down move. I think that's totally reasonable. I think that's a pretty good target to have here. One of the things that you're going to need to do is have a battle here at 335 if we do curl back up there. So this is one of the things that you're looking at. I have no position, but good stuff here, Crow, and giving us a potential swing trade on one of these. Okay, AI starting to rip. Volume is coming in. Let's check on AI because, again, this has been one of the themes recently. And just to kind of give you my own personal view on this. Okay, first of all, we have broke this trend line. Mitch, I think you had me draw this trend line, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was Joe from the after hours. In any case, we have kind of broken that, right? So this is healthy behavior for a stock on the move up. Sets a high, comes back in, and then tries to re-challenge that high. If we look at the intraday chart here, it looks like we have continued to move here on AI. Here's my thought on the AI sector. I do think that there is going to be a huge future for AI and automation. I would combine some of those things together, which is why I also throw some robotics in there. However, I think that we're currently in a situation where some of this might be kind of fad-like. Some of these things, they'll pop, they'll come back in, and then the big move will happen later, maybe after some industry consolidation. I think we're still in the very, very early innings of this. So I'm not ready to make calls about which company are going to have long-term staying power and the exact right time to buy in them. I don't have a feel for that. I expect some of these AI companies to really come back in when some of this dies out. What's going to be the catalyst for that? Don't know. Got to keep our eyes open. In the meantime, some of these stocks have given us some really, really good opportunities. I think back to Ron. Ron's traded AI a number of times. A number of you guys were all over SOUN and BBAI and things of that nature. So I think some of these are going to have some trading potential, but I'm not sure that the big move here is on the horizon. Maybe I'm wrong about that. We'll see. But that's kind of the thing I'm thinking about here with AI.
Popped out KHC, break even on KHC. The swing, we just got out there at 39.69s. So didn't want to hold. It's doing a little bit of a deeper time pullback that I wanted to see him move back above 41. Still in the Johnson & Johnson, got one add there at the 159.25s. Going to look down towards 159, keeping an eye out on that one. Still have the UAL trade. We'll see what happened on that one. Nice little pop there. SLB is definitely my top stock to watch today. I'm a little annoyed that I wasn't here out the gates. It's already been ripping. I've already put out an order to try to get some on pullbacks towards the 53.75s, but it's taken off there. Energy trade, definitely look at this long-term trend line that I was expecting for it to recover today. It's ripping already. I'm going to look for pullbacks and try to get in it. SLB, definitely one of my top watch on the day. Energy having a good day to start off. So take a look at some energy names. I wanted to look at Chevron also because that one's been beaten down. It's having a nice little rip right out the gates here.
ARBE from our list here. Let me go ahead and get to the 1 minute chart. ARBE from our list here. Looks like, and actually this is the 200-day, but it's a moving average. Okay, so ARBE, first move here was down. Now it's trying to actually regain and pop above. Let me go ahead and redraw some of these lines that we had here real quick so that they're visible. Remember, they were on my movers chart there. Here's another one. Here's another one right in here. Boom. And then right up here. Okay, so looks like we're actually trying to move here on ARBE. Looking pretty good. And we'll move through the VWAP. Here's decent volume. I like that it's really kind of changed to buying volume. If we can actually push above this VWAP here, it looks like our next challenge is going to be at 689, 690. We'll see what the level 2 looks like when it gets up there. MOB continuing to move to the downside here. We really want that to firm up before we trade it. Let's watch AREB and see what kind of movement this has here. Decent float, 31 million in the float, so not ultra low float, but having a nice little morning here this morning.
Tesla trading up there towards 209.30s. We'll see if it gets back there through 210. I'm going to look to see if we get a rejection into this 209 area, 210 area. If we keep rejecting there, we could pull back. Overall SPY trying to make an up move now from the red kind of open, right? We went down right at the open, now starting to come back there on the SPY. We'll look to see if we get back up there towards 405. You are getting a little bit of a bounce back here. Just to mention, big boys are actually in the green from the open. Google is the one that's in the red from the open, so keep watch on that. That's weak to start there. Amazon weak also trying to reject right now 95.50s. We'll see what happens there. KHC still pulling back. I'm not going to touch that one anymore. And we'll look to see what is getting in the red here. Netflix trying to get back into the green. ARC actually pushing after red open. We'll look to see what happens there. Shop was down big, now to reversing a little bit. So you are getting some reversal in these stocks. Keep your eyes on Meta. Meta up 2.13%. Big push here back towards 178. We'll see what happens there.
And remember, that's at the back of that news for them charging that monthly subscription, basically copying Twitter's game plan there. So keep that in mind. Great call here by the chat. AM. This is one we've actually traded here before. Ryan and Crow. Looks like you guys are both on this here. AM. Interesting move here out of the gate. First of all, great, strong first move here out of the gate. And really, we were not tipped off by this at all. This volume really kind of came in after the market opened. This is why we just got to keep watching the volume, folks. That's going to be a big thing every day that we're trying to look for intraday trades. But when we flip back over to the daily chart, look what we're running up against here. So first of all, this is that biopharma. Again, we've traded this recently. This fits into the theme. What we're seeing here is that this is actually going to try to take out 456. At least to my eye, it looks like it's going to do that. Unsure if we do that today, but this is, again, something to keep on the back burner. Good move here, was not set up for it. Not going to chase these moves, going to wait for good setups. And the other thing that I wanted to cover here real quick topic is the SPY. Remember, one of the things I wanted to see here out of the SPY is, do we actually hold those lows? Is that low that we saw in the pre-market right around the open, is that the low for the day? Do we bounce from here? Well, so far, so good. It looks like the SPY is trying to bounce here. It's early. We get a lot of fake outs, maybe 15 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes in. So we're going to keep watching that. But so far, so good here on the SPY, giving us a gap lower only to bounce from those lows.
I would really like to see maybe XLV even come a little lower, and I'm going to take more and more healthcare. I'm looking to take some swings in healthcare today. So looking at those stocks, drug manufacturers, not looking too bad here out the gates. Lilly had a nice little push up. Merck, a nice little push. Pfizer on my radar also. Can use the lows on the daily chart, so we'll keep that in mind. Double lows right around the same areas, 42.58, 42.60s. Let's see if that starts holding and we get back up towards 43s. Kind of like this chart. Pfizer. Looking for some weak value in healthcare to come back into the green today. Basic materials down here. What's doing well is copper. Copper, big move there. FCX, nice little move up. SCCO, would keep an eye out on that one. That one hasn't ripped yet. And I actually really like this setup here off the VWAP here. Let's see if we can get a little bit of some copper SCCO. Kind of like this more for like the day trade style trade right here. Looking for a little bit of some pullback below this 50 mark. It's already jumping a little bit there. The spread is a little wide there on SCCO, so just be careful. I do like it though. The nice little daily setup. If we get back through the daily high on Friday, 76. FCX pushing. Let me see if that can pull back now. Yeah, it's on a nice little pullback look. SCCO.
Philip, my bad. I didn't mention your name when we were talking about AM. That was an oversight on my part. I apologize. Good mention earlier in the pre-market. LNZA, Lanzatech Global, halted at 603 here. Move up from 5. So we've moved up an entire dollar, up 45 here, 45% here. Looks like that is halted here.
I want to see a little test of the downside here in SCCO, and then I can start getting into it. Doesn't look too bad there. Let's go to some multiple charts here. Keep an eye out. The SPY is pulling back there now. Day trade action, looking at SQQQs, SLB pulling back there. We'll look to see if we get some fills towards 53.75s, but SLB finally pulling back for me. We'll see what happens there if I'm able to get some extra fills. Johnson not doing too bad. What do you got?
ARBE, nice little move here through the VWAP. Now it did it on low volume, so that didn't give me an entry trigger. We'll see what happens at the 689 level if we get up here. Nice looking candle here on ARBE. Volume starting to build here as well. So good looking stuff here. ARBE. Came right back into that VWAP. So this is why we wanted that move to confirm. Didn't get it. You guys are looking at AREB, or was that a typo, Crow? Yeah, that looks like that was a typo. ARBE. That looks like that was typo. That can happen, so be careful of that too. All of you that have entered TLSA know perfectly well how those can happen. iBio, weren't we talking about this last week? iBio, another move up here. Nice little move out of the gate, back test on the VWAP, and then a push higher here. Let's see where. Really? There we go. I was going to say, we just saw iBio recently. This is what we're looking at. These levels in here. 196 to 205. All right, we'll see if we can get that high on iBio. This would be an interesting spot here. We get a multi-day curl event and we end up going through there. That would be an interesting spot, definitely.
Meta coming down fast. SPY also came
mentioned
down, pulled right back down there.
SRNE, this looks like a penny therapeutic play, right? So this is going to be one of the penny players. This is 3 days in a row here. Becca, weren't you mentioning this earlier? I feel like you're one of our resident penny experts here. 15-cent move off that $20 level, or $20, geez, excuse me, 20-cent level here. Almost a double here in just a couple of sessions. So just kind of just goes to show you what these pennies are capable of. If you trade them, good luck. I hope you do a better job than I do. To me, this actually might slow down here at about 40, 42. So just a couple of cents away there on SRNE.
All right.
Jay Wild
about to take
watching
a risk.
SOXS. Sorry, Mitch, I didn't mean to run you over there.
No, you're good, man. About to take a risk here in GIS here. So just grab some GIS there. Willing to add towards 79.14s. 707 is like kind of the support there. I'm going to pull it down to the 79.07. So we're looking to add off of this reversal action right up before the gates. You got a little pop there to 82 there on General Mills. I think you got a big buyer that stepped up there, pushed the price a little bit too high. Now we're getting that pullback action. I'm trying to get it off of this reversal off the 79. Could let it pull back to the 79.07, can add some there. But we're going to look to the push back up there towards through 80s, back up to 81s. And I could take profits at the 81 into the 81.50s. We'll see what happens there. Johnson & Johnson was not able to get an additional ad. Had some ads there in the 70s. Wanted to see if we cut through the low just really quickly and then recovered. I'll let you guys know what happens there. Just keeping an eye out on the battle today. We'll see what happens. Everything in the red from the open now. Looks like energy just slightly just pulled back there. I'll look to see if I get some SLB entrance.
SPY moving to the lows here. Entire broader market moving to the lows here. And Jay, you were saying SOXS might be a good buy, right? So if the SPY breaks the lows and wants to take the next leg down, you're looking to capture that movement with SOXS, I'm guessing. SOXS right back to the VWAP here. Let's see if we get some continuation.
Well, I liked it there at the VWAP area. At least you know what you're playing with, and you got a nice little pullback there to 2180s. That's why I like layering it right below the VWAP there. You could have got filled on some pullbacks. We'll look to see if it takes out 22 on the high. SQQQ also already taken off to the highs. Q's a little bit weaker than the SPY here. We'll see what happens if the SPY takes out the lows. There it goes. It's already cutting through. That's a good sign there. Q's, we'll see what happens on that one. Pulling back fast. All right, kind of get some ads on that GIS now. Just got one ad there. Willing to add a little bit through a cut down here. Don't want to see it cut down through the low of that 78.79. Just got a little ad there. Let's see if it comes right back up. All right, DXY popping over 104. That could be some more downside action coming back in. Did that coin trade reverse? Pulling back. It's actually pretty strong here on the day. ARKK now back down below the VWAP. We'll look to see if we get a bounce there. If you're thinking that a lot of these growth trades are going to fall off the table, I would recommend taking a look at least. You determine if you want to trade it, but SARK, it's not a bad idea. Reversal action for the growth names. All right, keeping a close eye on this GIS, trying to add to the position here, but I'm already decently sized at 79.28s. Let's see if it comes right back up here. UAL staying into the green. That doesn't look too bad. It came back to 49s, but now starting to bounce. I'm going to start holding off that 49 below it, making sure that I don't get cut through that 49 on UAL. So that's the swing.
Walter, it's okay. Plus, we didn't stream on the weekend. So don't worry about that. Mob curling, it looks like. Let's take a look here at MOB. By the way, that SOXS immediately rejected at that VWAP there. Those curl plays on some of these ETFs might give us some more ability for profit there. Market is trying to bounce off that low range that we talked about. MOB, here's what Crow is talking about here. Looks like it's starting to curl. I'll say this, Crow. I would say it's trying, but we're not getting the curl yet. We're still in that sideways range here. For me, the curl, like we want to have that curl confirmed, right? So that's going to be a combination of two things. First of all, it's going to be a move through this 235 level because that takes this out. And then secondly, we want to have it on some volume. And we really like to see it move through 240 here, really, to kind of, get past this. We tried to bounce here, but we're rejected immediately. Would love to see this move through there. Now, that only gives us 12 cents to the VWAP. So we really want this to be a great trade. I think we're going to need to move higher than the VWAP, but this is one of the things we're watching here. And we'll keep watching MOB, Crow.
All right, just battling out there, trying to focus on this GIS to see if I'm going to add that third ad. It's at 79.28. I'm at 79.28 pretty much. I'm right on break even right now. We'll see what happens there. Do we get another leg? SPY looking like it's trying to go lower here, so I don't mind that SOX trade. And you can see it's right back to VWAP. It's towards 21.75. I can see it bouncing off this trend line here. Of course, if it breaks that, you got to be careful. You might have to get out really quickly. But it does look good, like it's trying to get back towards 22 here. I would look to it to take out that 22. And for that mention, NVIDIA back to VWAP. So the complete opposite trade. You see how it looks almost exactly the same? If you wanted to go long here, you're essentially saying that that SOX trade wouldn't work. And if you're thinking short here, well, that means NVIDIA will break right back down through that 210. We'll see what happens. Qs overall pulling back there, just not breaking down just yet, but we'll see. Energy back into the green, was not able to get the fills for SLB on that pullback for the VWAP play. I had orders out just 5 cents away from SLB. No fill on there. Going to be a little upset that I didn't get a piece of it, but I'm canceling the orders now. I'll look to see if we get a pullback later in the day.
MOB still trying, Crow. Looks like it is trying to curl here. I really want to see some volume here. ARBE still below that VWAP. So I think the longer we stay there without making a move, it actually might get knifed again. So be careful with ARBE. Watching the mob level 2 here, would love to see this move right through 240, up to 240, and then through 240. If we can get buying volume on the back of that, that's exactly what we need right now. Just not seeing it enough here. Not seeing it enough. Looking at definitely looking at a short-term chart here. Okay, it's the first move up. We're seeing the movement in the price, but we're not seeing that volume to go with it. Maybe that'll change here.
I like the 50% retracement level. That's right around 232's 230 level on that MOB. So it looks good off of the 225s now. And so that could be your bottoming level around 225. So it doesn't look too bad, that MOB. The mob life. Who's part of the mob? There's GIS coming back to VWAP now. Let's see if it can really start moving here, getting back up towards the 80s and 81s. This was a bigger pullback out the gates. Just looking for a big time frame pullback. We'll see if this one can keep starting to run from 79.28s, and we can start seeing it push. SLB still looking good. I'm just going to have to ignore that now. Wasn't able to get a pullback entry there, but I can look at some other oil names to see if we can get a nice little run. Chevron doesn't look too bad for me on this little pullback. It's been really beaten down and could push back up through 163.50.
AM, wow, another here. So this is one we were talking about. Boy, this one. So right up to that 456. Remember, the last time that we took a look at this, we were down here at 408. We came back into the VWAP. We pushed away. We've got the volume that we absolutely needed. Congratulations, by the way, to anyone that traded this. I took this off my screen, and I really should not have. There was definitely a trade here, even after that being extended. But again, we pushed right up to this area. I don't really think that that is a coincidence. Let's see what happens if we make it through this 456. We might get an initial pop. We might get a knife. But man, it went right up there. It went right up there. No coincidence. It wants to take this out. Definitely looking strong here. The postman saying Donkey Kong refusing to die. I don't think it's going to die, folks. I really don't. I think that there's a big move to be had here, and I don't necessarily think it's going to correspond with a sporting event. I actually think that what will probably happen here is when the numbers are just too good to ignore, that's when you'll get the huge move. We'll see, though. Certainly looks like it wants to go through this 2143 here, move back up towards 25. This has been a really, really good chart. Bottom here, definitely $11. That was a really good buy. This $10.50, $11 area, that definitely looks like the bottom. Let's see if we can get some more juice here and get DraftKings off to the races. Mitch, you got any thought on DraftKings?
Well, I already lost on it, so I feel like I have a little bit of a biased approach there. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be, I think, more along will the growth names turn around? Because I think this is just a growth name with it. It's not like they had like kick-ass earnings or anything, but it is holding the gap. So right now, as long as it can hold like 1950s, doesn't come back to the low 1950s, you're still looking bullish. Look for higher lows on the daily chart to keep that trend. All right, looking at Chevron here, it doesn't look too bad. Let's see if it starts reversing here off the 162.50s. All right, just got in there, got 168s on that little push there. We'll look to see if Chevron can hold 162.43 area on pullbacks right now. Want to really see it hold 162.50s and then get back up towards 163s, then make its way to 163.50. That's about a 1 point range to the upside. We'll see if we get this up there. GIS getting a nice little lift there. Going to keep watch on that one. There's Chevron starting to lift there. Doesn't look too bad. If I can get through 80s on GIS, I'll still be looking good for the 81 push. We'll sell some right before that.
Christopher, funny from Matt Malley. It really is incredible that the last name of the chairman of Credit Suisse is Lehman. I didn't even realize. That is kind of funny. I'm going to try to not be put off by that. That's for sure. I didn't realize that until he mentioned it, but man, that's kind of, in fact, can I copy that? Oh, I can't copy out of this silly thing. Last name of chairman of Credit Suisse. All right. MOB still button up against that 240. 240 might be the spot there on MOB. Here's AREB. So we're above the VWAP now, but we're still. So we've got a couple of spots here, right? We're looking at for AREB, really the 690. Do we have volume there? That'd be pretty good. Looks like this is trying here. And then MOB, we really have that 240 level, right? That's at least what I see to my eye. We're kind of waiting these out, and we'll see if we get them. The thing on MOB that really is crazy, look at how the volume just died. Like, you're not going to have a good day trade with this kind of depressed volume. You're really not. I mean, maybe if you get lucky, but we're not in the business of getting lucky. We're trying to do stuff that's repeatable here. Definitely right now, at least, mark both of these down on your piece of paper to watch them for afternoon runs. The more that we trade sideways like this, without breaking down, that's definitely a good sign. But we really are going to need something to get this to go, and we just don't have it yet. We really just don't have it yet. Let's check in on LNZ. This thing has been our halt fest. Let's see what we're doing here. Okay, we're now on the downside halts of that.
SLB never came back there for the entry, but still looking to see if Chevron can take off now through the 6280s. That one still doesn't look like a bad little reversal off the 16250s. I have that at 16268. GIS working strongly now starting to push there. But once it gets through 80s, we're going to be looking good. Really trying to drive it towards that 81, because if it can complete the range back to the upside, that's a really good risk and reward. Got to be slow on the take, because a little part of me feel like rushing towards the profits right now, but it has a good potential to the upside. Let's let the trade work out for what you originally planned for. Let's see what happens. All right, catching up with the chat, and that could take a little bit more of a second. Anyone bought Tesla? Let's take a look at that Tesla chart, see how it's trading on the day. Reversal around the 205. He's trying to get back up there. 210 is resistance. I can tell that much, right? But we turned around up there. We could reverse back up there towards the 210s. I think Tesla's not looking too bad as long as it keeps holding this 9 EMA. You can see how it holds the 9 EMA on pullbacks. We even got that one on Thursday. It pulled back below it, closed above it. That's what you want to be seeing. It's okay to pull below it, but you don't want to close below it. Right now, we went to 199.61 on the bottoming action on Tesla. Right now, you can see here in the pre-market. No, I don't even think that's the low. The low for right now for Tesla is around 204.53. And so you're not even coming close towards that 202.08, which is the 9 EMA. See if it gets a takedown now. SPY overall down towards the lows. It's 10 o'clock, so we're going to see what the move is here. It looks like it's to the downside. SOXL, that was pretty down there at the 21.75. Now through the 22s, 222.15. That looked like a really nice pullback opportunity there for SOXS. If you guys were able to nail that, we'll look to see if it comes through to 22.25s now. SQQQ is, I'm sure, taking off here towards the highs. There he goes. Nice little push there. If you guys were able to get SQQQs, look at the 15-minute or hourly chart on SQQQ. Really pretty, back towards the resistance of yesterday's action off this 37.25 level. Or if you wanted, you could have been risking down there towards like 37.16. It went to a low of 37.20s there on SQQQ. Nice little pullback to support. Got picked up there. Now coming right back up. For SQQQ, one thing that I've noticed, at least with these leverage trades, you got to really look for the reversal style trade. So like, let's say on this gush, this doesn't look too bad if it wants to reverse back to the upside today. We'll look to see if it can actually hold this 1 hour low, recover that, and actually put in a close above this kind of 129.50 level on the hourly. I'll be kind of watching this for gush. Leverage trades, you got to be careful with those. All right, catching up with the chat. What's going on out there? AM. Ooh, biotech out there. Ooh, not a bad one there, Crow. Nice little VWAP bounce off the $4 spot. Beautiful pullback at the 390s.
Yeah.
Above 4, below 3 to 391, takes out 4, liftoff. Nailed that one, Ryan, or you've been watching?
No, I didn't nail this one. This one, unfortunately, here, let me pull it back up.
Yeah, I got you, my friend. You can talk about that one.
No,
I'm starting to get a move in Chevron. Just wanted to put that out there, and I'm letting you take control, my friend.
I'm trying to. Let's go. I don't get it.
No stress, bro. Figure that out. I see you.
I'm trying to figure out why I can't pull that ticker up in here if it does not appear on my scanner, and I think it's just a memory issue.
Yeah, it could just be an issue there.
I was looking at cold here because the chat was talking about cold. I agree. Who would have thought we would have seen this at 80? We were talking about nat gas and this being a bad winter for Europe and this, that, and the other thing. And the inverse ETF is at levels we didn't think were possible. We'll see where this ends up going. What's nat gas at today? Let me actually take a look at that.
Really liking this Johnson & Johnson pullback look.
We'll see God,
also Pfizer reversing off the bottom. I like that outlook for swing trades. I'm looking in health swing trades today, team. So I already got Johnson & Johnson. I sized in 3 entries there on Johnson & Johnson. Still have 1 available that I can get into, but the average is on Johnson & Johnson 159.19s. I'm not mad at that at all. We're like right off that pricing now. And I've worked my way back closer towards the bottom of the price action on the day. We'll see if it can close into the green. GIS, nice lift there through the 80s. I'm going to look for it to continue. It could get the pop into the first resistance. That's going to be around 80.24s. I'm going to look to see if we can continue through that and just push through, then look to take profits towards 81. And I can go to that one. Don't worry. I can put it on mine, if anything. So
no, I got it here. Sorry. I'm dealing with several different things.
This was the stock, my top stock to watch today. And I'm going to be frustrated about this team. When you do hard work on the weekends, maybe be here at the open. This is one that I was talking to my friend with for a while. SLB, Slumber J talked about it. I hope he got it out there. This one looks interesting, starting to recover. These are oil stocks. That's why I'm not mad about my Chevron trade. We'll look to see if I can keep going. Come on, Chevron. Get back up there. ARBE being mentioned. There's a little 7 pop there. Not bad on the little pullback here to 690s. Ooh. I like to layer the orders in there. 690s, 685, 680s. Look to see if I get pullback fills, and then look to see if I get takeoff to 760s. Interesting one there. ARBE, nice little push, and it's a robotic stock. AI type of stock. That one looked interesting.
That's what I was saying, Mitch. And here's the thing: like some of these, I know. Oh, and then we just got its pop. We just got its pop. So, okay, let's take a look at this. What have I been saying literally all day? I feel like a broken record. I really do. I feel like a broken record.
Don't feel broken, bro. I got
some of these plays. What we've been waiting for is the volume. And look, we ended up getting that volume pop here. Now, this unfortunately didn't last very long. But still, definitely had enough time to get in and out of this on that volume move. What you were saying to this about this being a robotics play, I do have seen some of these robotics plays before. This one is new to me, though. Definitely going to do some work on this, and I'm going to ask the happy hour crew about this here later today. As for an AI automation play. By the way, so Nat Gas currently 2.1. So we were just talking about cold and boil here. 2.1. If we take a look at UNG here, I mean, look at this. This is wild. I mean, I want to say that this is maybe a buy here, but I just don't have any levels to go off of, right? This was the sideways trading that we were looking at. Let me actually extend this. We actually looked at this, I think, together on this show here. Now we're breaking out of this. I got to think we bounce back to this, but I might have said the same thing up here. Trade this at your own risk, folks. If you're going to do one of the hold your nose and buy in an attempt to catch a bounce or a reversal here, I get why you're doing it. Just please have a plan to the downside in case that doesn't work. Remember, these things don't have to do what we think they're going to do. Being said, man, it sure looks like this wants to bounce. Just what a move in Nat Gas. I mean, who would have thought? CMMB, I think a couple of people were talking about this here today. Let's see if we're actually going to curl and pop here on CMMB. Remember, this is FDA clearance of its investigational new drug application.
I like this pullback for Chevron, trying to add in this pullback here. Going to look to see if we can come back up there through the 163 and 163.50s. Still liking oil today. And I'm going to look for the gush reversal off the bottom here. That's going to give us a good sign. I'm not going to trade off of it, but looking more to see if we can get that reversal, right? We talked about that, right? That's like an hourly move here to recover back above 129.50s and then give us a nice hour candle back up above 132.25s. That could be an up move in oil. Still watching that GIS, looking for the next continuation move. We'll see what happens on that one. That's pulling back right now, but I wanted to hold VWAP and continue the trend. Do the Fed minutes come out tomorrow? Yes, Mad Money, you're 100% right. They do come out tomorrow. All right, let's keep it going, team. If you guys have a nice one, definitely bring it up in the chats. We'll keep them up. What was that other one that we're looking at right now? That was ABED or
ARBE, Alpha Romeo.
Thank you.
Bravo Echo.
I got it, team. All right, I have a lot of trades on. I can try to take this one too, but I'm focusing a little bit more on that Chevron right now. But I actually kind of like the levels here on this pullbacks too.
I'm deer in headlights here today. I really am. I'm deer in headlights in some of these trades. I feel like I'm slow on everything because I didn't prepare, and I'm not getting some of the bounces and the reversals that I had hoped for.
So
Names that I take off my screen end up being the names that are moving. Just got to dial it back in here. Just got to get back on the grind.
What you're telling me here is that you're not in the zone today.
Is that a lesson from trading in the zone that you're going over in book club?
Why not, right? I mean, one of the things that I always talk about trading in the zone and why the book is really interesting, and I think that we all need to be asking ourselves questions like this, is we need to understand when we're in the zone and when we're not in the zone. Yeah. Majorly important. It can save us so much money. Like right now, Ryan noticing, I'm feeling a little out of tune with the market. That's also out of the zone, right? Not focusing and having it perfectly planned out. For me, it was not being ready at the open there for like SLB style trade, right? And so I think that that's very important. We need to be in the zone if we want to be capturing those profits. Catch yourself sometimes and ask yourself, maybe it's an hour into the market. Am I in the zone? Have a little note.
And by the way, SOXS, I think this was Jay Wild that mentioned this when we were right around that 2180 level when SPY hadn't broken prior to breaking and taking the next leg down. Well, this just goes to show you that that was absolutely a great setup.
My bad, brother. That was me. Bad. I took it off there for a second.
This setup here, right? The market tried to bounce, which is why it came in a little bit, but really that move was just too strong. We ended up going another 50 cents from that 2180. Went almost a whole dollar, 70 cents now from that 67 level. Market definitely breaking down. This is kind of what we wanted to see. One more thing I wanted to mention here real quick was ADI. We were talking about stalking this for a potential entry. And as you can see, we tried to bounce here a little bit, but we really kind of sold off. Now, interestingly enough here, we've broken the bottom of this floating island, and we've done it with, consider, I guess it's 3 points here. So I want to see where this closes here. Might take a stab at this. If this continues to just do nothing but show weakness, I think we probably come back in here, right? If we can firm up and hold, maybe that's going to be a signal for our entry. Again, I'm going to use options to define my risk ahead of time. I'm not going to allow this trade to get too far ahead of me. I might even just do one contract on this trade. That way, if we lose it, it's not the end of the world, but we still have exposure for it. So we're going to see some continued breakdown, but remember, this is why we wanted to see the close of today. We end up having a reversal in the market maybe later this morning or even in the afternoon. That could also take some of these other stocks higher. And if we close, right around 191 here, I mean, giddy up. That looks like our chart formation pretty perfectly. So I'm going to try to not get shaken by the intraday. I'm going to try to stick to my plan here and make sure that I check in here near the end of the day.
Don't get shaken. I don't know. We're looking at Chevron here to see if it can get a little higher. I did get that final ad there. We'll see what happens on this one. We'll look to see if we get that next lift up. I will say, Ryan, it's difficult to trade and talk commentary while trading is not easy for sure. 150%. This is why I've been lately trying to, at least for like day trades actions, just really focus on the day trade action. Swings, I have a little bit more of that like kind of feel for them, so I don't really stress too much. Like I have like ITW deep into the red today. That could stop me out on the day, but I have my stop set on that one, so I don't have to worry about it. A lot of the times on swing trades, I do like stop limits, so I don't have to stress too much about these trades. We'll look to see if Chevron can get back up there. It just made a nice little move back towards 162.70s. Wasn't able to hold it here. Keeping a close eye on it. Want to see if I can see Gush reverse back to the upside, right? That could help us out if we get that lift. GIS was looking at maybe potentially adding here at the break-even spot, but I wanted to add at like 79s. I still like the chart if it can get back above those highs of 80s. We'll see what happens. This one's a little bit of a tougher trade. We'll see if that can make that move. Going back there towards that smaller name, just want to find it. I keep forgetting the ticker, man. I'm sorry about that, team. There's a lot going on right now today. It's one of those days, a lot of action. I'll look to see if that SLB can continue through the high. If it pulls back there towards 73.75, I don't mind getting into it, but just keeping a close eye. Johnson & Johnson just slightly went into the green there for a second. I'll look to see if it can get back above the VWAP on the day, and then that can get into the green. Still looking around. It's one of those days. It's a battle type of day. All right, SPY down there towards 401.73. Are we going to the 400 today? Something to think about, right? UAL into the red there. Might get stopped out eventually on UAL today, so just keep that in mind. Whew, it got real close to that stop out on UAL. Just keeping an eye on there. Might have some losing trades today. And I mean, that's how it happens, especially on swing trading. Sometimes you're going to have these multiple days where you get cut out of some, and some days where they're all into the green, right? Keeping an eye on Chevron right now. It is making a cut down. It might stop me out of this one if it keeps cutting. But for right now, it's on the pullback. I'm looking to see if it holds 62.35 area on a closing of a 5-minute candle. Kind of rejected that move back up towards the upside, which was the 162.80s move. So we'll look to see if we get that reversal back to the upside. SPY overall, start trying to hold a little bit here. Can we get some uplift? That's going to help some of my trades out. How'd that success continue here? I'll put it on the bottom side there. It went up there through the opening price, but now pulling back. Could pull back here towards the kind of trend line outlook. That's going to be a pullback to 22.06, 22.05, maybe even the 22 pullback as an opportunity. Tesla trying to come back here towards the VWAP because they're looking at a name like that. How did NVIDIA do there? Came back to 210, now bouncing off that 210, just to mention another name. If you guys got names to call out, let me know. How's that ARBE doing? Right now, off of 7, has pulled back to 790s. I like to pull back to 680s, 670s, as long as it can hold that on like a 15-minute or a 5-minute outlook there for ARBE, but doesn't look like a bad stock at all on the day. Definitely one of those cheap names, high flyers type, but good call out there, Crow. Hell yeah, we're going to actually watch some of those videos, Vernon. I think what we're going to do for the book club is at the end of Trading in the Zone, I'm going to give you guys a whole bunch of videos that you guys can actually watch Mark Douglas talk about trading in the zone. But I feel like if you read his book and then you listen to him speak, it helps so much more because you really, truly understand what he's talking about. There's ARBE to 711s. Can it get through the 725 spot? That's the next spot for the expansion back towards 760s and 750s. Dun, 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 dun. Overall, on the day, I just have that pretty much nothing, that KHC break-even stop out, right? And so overall on the day, we still haven't even gotten out of trades. We're just letting trades work right now and see what we get. Keeping a close eye on that GIS. Don't want it to cut down here. I want to just try to recover the VWAP there and start actually just holding us into the green. Then we can actually keep working that position. Chevron cutting down here. Needed to recover on this 5-minute candle. Last 5-minute candle closed above that 34. We're going to look right now to see if we get a recovery, but it could stop us out, especially through 162. Could stop me out. Sorry about that, team. All right, just keeping a close eye on that to see if we do get that push. I'm looking also at Gush to see, there you go. You're getting that kind of fake to the downside there in Gush. Let's see if we get the recovery on the breakdown, or does it just keep going on Gush? This next layer on Gush. $126.80s. There's the cut down on Chevron. Hands on the trigger to get out here if we don't recover through. Don't want to see it move through that 162. There it is, down to 162.05s. I'm out there. Got out there. Cut there on a red loss on a day trading size there for Chevron. We'll look to see if it comes back later, but out there on that. We'll look to see if Gush recovers. Definitely SLB would have been a better one on the day, right? We would at least have first profits on that one. But it's how it goes when you miss your top play in oil and you try to take your second. Sometimes you're not going to catch it. It happens. Anyone read Reminiscence of a Stock Operator? Of course. Of course. The only thing about that book is that I feel like it's so old. I don't know if it really makes too much sense in this market, but I have read it. It's a nice read, at least, for sure.
AM been our stock du jour, Mitch. This has given multiple trading opportunities today. Looks like we're on the 1, 2, third leg up here, right? On this trade, just an absolute monster. I'm going to go ahead and put this up here. Just another great trade, right? Here's the first time we've talked about it. I believe this was the chat was talking about it right in here. We ended up getting that volume pop through that level, carried us to this 456. We traded sideways there for a little bit, taking the next leg up, and now breaking again. Now we're coming back in here. This is, after seeing a run like this, I totally understand the stock getting pulled back in. Factor that into your trading plan here. But multiple opportunities here on AM. Great stuff. This was identified here by the chat, shared with the group. This is what we do here, folks. This is what we do.
Nice push there on that ARBE. Big push up there, right back towards the high. Hit 760, and they sold it there. That was they were ready to sell some there. So definitely saw that one get a nice little pop there. Boom, right into that resistance. Stop there. Let's see if it takes it out. If it takes it out, you got 770 above 775, where you should get the nice little lift there. It's not a bad stock, I'll tell you that. At least I could see that little pump there into the sevens. Held the 690 pullback, now back up there towards the 760s. Not a bad one to keep on watch, right? All right, let's see if JIS can really give us that move back up there. I'm a little tempted to add on this one, but I'm just going to keep that sizing that we have from right over here. That puts us to an average right about here, 79.28. And so I'm looking to see if this can really get back up there, start holding VWAP, and give us that ride back up. Johnson & Johnson, can that start holding and recovering VWAP? We'll see what happens on that name.
Is the market going to hold here? Market kind of returning to lows here has me wondering if we're actually going to break and take the next leg lower. SOXS, that's one of the trades that we've kind of watched for already. That could go. Let's take a look at some of these at the Qs here. SQQQ, this one very, very similar to SOXS. We'll see if the market takes the next leg down here. Intraday low 401.59. We're currently at 401.80. I'm actually going to watch the SPY right here. Let me bring that up.
Yeah, for that SOXS, it's just holding the pullback. It went right to that level that we called out, 2209, 2208, 07s. That's what I was talking about. Right to that, bounce right back up. It's just holding the trend line, right? And sometimes you can do this. This is trend following traders. And also, you know what does this? Algos. Algos also with that trend follow. 9 EMA pullbacks gives you opportunities. That's how I look at it on these also. If you go to the 1 minute, look how this is also holding that deep time frame little pullback there. Boom, nice little pullback, right back up. Looks cleaner on the 5 or the 15. But we'll look to see if we get now back above this resistance here and start holding around 2220s. There's some resistance that could start becoming support and now starting to push. Look at this 2020s now starting to act. Let's see if we get a nice expansion back up.
Watching the SPY here. We're within 7 cents of that intraday low.
And where do I think we can get?
It's coming for it, Mitch. It's coming for it.
I look to the left and I see this around here and I think, okay, so that looks like some bottoming action that we can find into. That's around the 463 levels. We're only a point away from where I think we can start finding some support, Ryan.
So you think we're going to, I would say at that point, then I think it seems reasonable that we're going to go test that level.
I could see us at least testing 400, right? It would make sense. Yeah. And maybe it's slightly above. That's why I have 463. And so as we get closer and closer to that 400, remember, some of these stocks can bounce and they could be wicked. So always keep in mind, you shorters out there that like to be on the dark side like me. Gotta keep that in mind.
New low here, 401.54 is the low print that I have.
General Mills, get me that cereal. You know what? If this gives me the money in the bank today, Ryan, I'm gonna go get a bowl of cereal live, baby.
You're going to get a
Live.
bowl of cereal live. Okay, so speaking of cereal, I actually just re-upped on cereal this weekend. I got myself some Raisin Bran Crunch, so factor that into your trade plan too.
Factor it in.
I'm not sure. Is that
team.
a General Mills Raisin
I,
Bran? Let me take a look.
I know I got the Frosted Flakes in the back there. They're waiting for me.
Frosted Flake. Man, I loved Frosted Flakes as a kid. Raisin Bran is a Kellogg's cereal.
Oh, Kellogg's. I think Frosted Flakes is also maybe even Kellogg's.
After you just shit talked it. Well,
But I need some cereal, baby. Come on. What is on the General Mills cereal collection? What's your favorite General Mills cereal out there, team?
I'll be honest, I have to look that up because I don't think about it in terms of General Mills versus Kellogg's. I just know good cereals when I come across them. Cheerios, part of the General Mills collection, right?
Hey, Cheerios. You got the Cheerios. The tricks are for kids, man. The tricks are for kids. The Lucky Charms.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Is that a Lucky
Cinnamon
Charms?
Toast Crunch. There you
Cinnamon
go.
Toast Crunch is one. Cocoa Puffs, Tricks. Yo, Maple Cheerios. I've never tried those. I bet those are ridiculously good.
Fruity Loops.
Okay, I've already looked at too many cereals. Now I just want to eat cereal. Gotta come back.
I'm sorry, team. At least cereal's not the worst, man. It's like a little bit of calories. Sometimes it's too much sugar.
About cereal, Mitch. I know that you say it's not the worst, and you're accurate in that statement. But the problem is that you can eat bowl after bowl after bowl after bowl of cereal, bro. You can make it bad. Trust me.
It's all about how big the bowl is, right? Got any healthy cereals in there?
Yeah. So I do. One of my favorite cereals of all time is Special K with the freeze-dried strawberries in there. I absolutely love that cereal. Lynn, I'm eating Raisin Bran Crunch. I put that in the healthy category too.
All right, just keeping an eye on my trades here. Thinking about Pfizer, man. That was a nice bottoming action in here in the 4270s. So I talked about earlier, there was a double bottom there. Look how you went right back to that double bottom look. I think there's some buyers stepping up there on the daily chart. There's some daily levels, daily bottoming. And I'm starting to play more and more in this market, kind of the contrarian trade, because it just seems to make sense a lot of the times. When we think we're going into all growth, then all of a sudden we start coming back to value. That's why I'm looking at names like PG today to continue into the green. It already pulled back in the open, give us a nice little pullback look. Now starting to recover. I'd look for VWAP pullbacks on this to 139.50s, but just keep your eyes on some of these value names. I still think they can get a little bit of a lift. All right, looking around, what else is making moves? Let's go to the SPY overall and just catch what's on the upside, what's on the downside there. Main moves there for the SPY. Let's go to it. Let's go and see what's getting hit the hardest here. It says the SPY looks to try to make a new low. NDSN, Nordstrom Corp really getting hit. Lumen Technologies just taking a smackdown. CarMax, ALB taking a hitting today. That's an interesting because you saw this morning there was lithium news with Tesla name. I wonder how that Tesla name's performing right now. That was the ticker was SGML. SGML. Ooh, it's coming back, team. Keep this one on the radar. It's done a nice little pullback. Hourly ranges.
The chat not disappointing with the cereal talk. Now talking about Chex Mix and making it into puppy chow. Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
I kind of like this
FGML, by the way, on the relative volume scanner. So
I like it. I like it a lot. It's already moving, so I'm not jumping into it. I can tell I already missed the 33 reversal area. That was off the hourly levels, 33 reversal. So I'm looking for a little pullback in between this, right? That's like 33.50s. So now that's already there, right? I can use that as kind of the bottoming levels now. Let's see if we can retrace about half this candle back towards like 33.80s, 33.70s here. But I like SGML. And of course, the Tesla cult out there.
Here's what I'm seeing on SGML, Mitch. So first of all, I did a very, very short term Fibonacci retracement here. So I basically am going from the low that we had on Friday to the high that we had in the pre-market here today. And you can see that the bounce that we're currently in right now is right off the golden ratio at 0.618. The number that I had there is 32.99. The number we actually went to looks like 32.60. So this bounce here off this ratio, I think that this is probably, this is some really good support. Now, where does this bounce stop? Good question. First spot here could be this 34.32. Might even call that 34.50, but maybe we do actually trade back up into a 35 handle. Anyway, this is what I'm kind of seeing for that bounce. I know you wanted to retrace one of those recent sticks, but 15-minute chart here, Fibonacci retracement from yesterday. We've already retraced a large part of this initial stick, and it looks like we're going to bounce from here.
I like it. I like it. I'll tell you what, I'm layering in orders on the levels that I like, right? Which is towards 33.80s on pullbacks. We'll look to see what happens on that SGML. Of course, with Tesla news, that supposedly Tesla could buy out this company. I think it's something definitely to keep on watch. See if some of the lithium names also come with it. So you'd want to see like a leader laggard style trade, something get back into the green, because these lithium names have been really weak out the gates. Look at LAC. Straight down, move out the gates. Look to see if you start seeing reversals on these back to the VWAP at the very least.
LNZA making an appearance on the relative volume scanner here. Really a little spooked by that, given the halt fest that we saw earlier. Let me see the float on float checker.
Just trying to get my Cheerios, man.
Buffalo Bicycle saying my city smells like Cheerios most days. My first reaction is it could be so much worse than that. Like, trust me, as someone that's lived in a city, it could be so much worse than that. Cheerios is probably the least offensive.
All right, SCCO coming back there, trying to recover 75. We saw FCX had such a nice move there. So looking to see if FCX can recover also. There's a nice little move there for XCS. So SCCO does not look too bad here for a little push above 75, back towards 75.50s. This would have to risk off about 74.80s here. Doesn't look bad there for me. I'm going to look for a little bit of a pullback here to 75, but seems interesting.
Around here as well.
Looking for a little pullback in that SCCO to get in here. Not getting it right now. Not getting any pullback on that SCCO. It looks interesting, though, for me. Looking at it. Come on. A little pullback for me. 75. FCX. Look at that push there. So that one's a nice one that we mentioned earlier, right? The leader in copper. At least in cap, right? And now it's starting to push there 43.30. So kind of leader laggard style trade there for SCCO. Sark Printin. We talked about that one a little bit earlier. Maybe pullbacks to 40.50s make sense. You are getting a little bit of a pullback now. SPY kind of bottoming around this 401, starting to come back there. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's see what can get into the green. There's essentially nothing in the green from the open. So things still red. I want to see if energy can come back. Of course, you know, Chevron wanted to stop me out around the 162. Could start pushing, though. Gush, what about the 1 hour candle, right? Are we going to recover this hourly candle right back above 129.50s? If we do recover that, it could get back to the green on the day. Oil's an area that is slightly holding the pullbacks right now. Looking at XOM to see if we can get a little bit of a push here back towards the highs. This doesn't look too bad on the chart, right? Little 5-minute kind of flag pattern here. Why is it a flag? Because you have two trend lines going in the same area. Flags have two trend lines, not a bottom support line. This is the flag pattern back to the upside for XOM. Doesn't look too bad. It already started lifting there, right? As I was talking about it, about 30, 40 cents. Be careful on that one, especially if the market could come back and push. Maybe we get XOM to push. Some defensive names look strong right now. So still pushing for GIS, right? I'll look to see if KHC can recover. Yeah, that's already recovered back towards where I got stopped out earlier on. So I could get back into Kraft Heinz as it recovers back to my entry. I'm going to think about that since I'm still in General Mills here. If it could take a nice little rip, General Mills, then I could look at it. PG pulling back also. Now looking to get through that 140. Kellogg's is pushing, man. Kellogg's doesn't look bad either. The better cereal names. Ooh, the battle's on. Kellogg's. That was a nice little push there. Resistance is right above here towards 69. I like that look on a lot of these value names. The sideways box. And then if it can just get out of the box to the upside. Come on, General Mills. I want to get some cereal live on camera. Let's go. Make me my cereal. Gonna make a mean bowl of cereal right now. CMMB.
Yeah. CMMB went right through its VWAP there and trying to push higher. Sorry, Mitch. I'm having trouble with my charts on this one.
I got you. I already got it up there. This looks like a little bit of a cut through. Look at the hourly chart, though. This is why I like hourlies on these cheap names. If you're looking at hourlies, you don't get freaked out on a bunch of those smaller candles earlier in the action. So move back above really this 275 is really what you're looking at. And you can draw a trend line here from that, right? So that's what you're kind of looking at. Now work backwards. Does it look better on the 30-minute, the 15-minute, the 5-minute, right? And then look how you kind of come through it. You pulled back now. Let's see if we hold around 250s, break it through that 275 towards the 3. Doesn't look too bad there on that CMMB. These biotechs, these smaller names, man, they're ripping. AM, that was the one that you've been talking about earlier. AM, now holding up there around the $5 spot, holding pullbacks to 477s. So that one's an interesting one. If it can come back to VWAP, kind of trap some 5 buyers and then come right back up. EFTR looks like it's trying to get up there. SRNE, even these smaller names really trying to get a little bit of a push. These real penny stock type of names, right? VLON. I know we talked about that one last week. There's that IBIO now setting up there for the 170 move, maybe back towards 180. Doesn't look too bad there on that one. Looking around some of these cheaper names. What do we got out there? The major drug manufacturers not looking too bad there. I know I got Johnson & Johnson, but the other ones are looking good. GSK, SNY, nice little lift there. Pfizer still looks like an interesting level for me off 4270s here. Getting an opportunity with this pullback here. I'd be taking 2 in the name like Johnson & Johnson. So I'm kind of holding off right now. Hate to like double, triple dip in an area. SPY is working its way back towards the VWAP, so we'll see what happens there. SLB came back down, never got towards the entry. Maybe that 75 would have filled. I know I canceled it earlier, 53.75. It went right to 53.75. I don't know if I would have got to fill there or not, but it is building up. I like the 15-minute chart there for SLB now to take out 54.50s. So if you guys have that one, Slumber J's looking great. We'll see what happens there. CLNE showing up there. I haven't talked about this one in a while. Clean energy. Cereal, I'm waiting for you. Come on, pop through that 80. Let's get to 81 and pay me some cereal out there. How's Walmart? Walmart had earnings today, and they got crushed in the pre-market, climbing the wall of worry right back on Walmart. That's interesting. Look at that. Hit, climb that wall right back. Walmart making up all those losses that it had earlier. Target, maybe? The Target trade. I like Costco, man. Also, Ryan. Costco.
Love Costco. You know me.
You
and
want to
my
know why?
Costco.
You want to know why? Because Sam's Club same store sales rose 12.2%.
There you go.
Keep hearing more and more about those wholesale places doing better. That's why I also think BJ's could continue the strength. It's a little bit too strong of a chart for me to chase it because I feel like it's up near the highs. You can see it. It is near the highs, right? Costco's is a little bit lower. One thing that I'll remind on Costco, look at the monthly chart. It's a pretty one. Keep your mentality on a monthly chart for Costco. Has nice bottoming levels around the monthly charts, around 450s. Keeps coming back up towards these 520s and rejecting, though. That's one thing to keep in mind. So once we could clear 520s again or 540s, I think you're in the clear for a nice up move on Costco. But it's going to be within this range for a little while, and you can clearly see it on the monthly. General Mills, come on. Let's go. 88 teens. We're through the 80s here, team. Let's go. All right. Where are we going to take some profits? Let's put out 80s. 80s. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. I feel like I'd get a little picky if I go up there all the way to the 81s. The 80-25, there is a little resistance around that, like the 22 area right here, where it's like kind of candle closed up, but I think we can get through there. There's 822s, 825s. There's 821 holding right now. See if you take that out, then I think the next level is 81. But I'm going to look to take some profits as I go into that move, take majority of the position off, and then I can let it try to really kind of push all the way up there towards 81.50s and towards the high in the pre-market, or right towards the bell, which was 82.01. Almond milk is just not right with cereal. That's what I was actually going to use, Crow.
Totally disagree. I use almond milk. It's awesome.
I have to use almond milk, man. I mean, I can still drink milk. It's not like I'm completely lactose intolerant, but I just can't drink milk like I used to when I was a kid.
Same. Yeah, it upsets my stomach if I drink too much of it.
Yeah, I don't mind drinking a tiny amount. I just don't drink like, crazy amounts anymore. Y'all got me wrapped up in some Frosted Flakes right now.
No, that's how it works with cereal, man. It's addicting like that. Don't even front. Don't even front.
That cereal game going hard today.
See, that's the thing. I just kind of brought it up as like a side thing, and look what it morphed into. That's what cereal does. Pizza does the same thing, by the way.
Man. That is what cereal does. I'll give you that.
There goes Buddy. Bye, Buddy. He came in to say hi, and then he bounced, mostly because Shelly's not here.
Ooh.
Take that.
Man, you're talking about the real penny play that I'll take a shot on. Grateful to God. I've thought about taking a shot on this company for so long. I think it might be time to do it. Oh, you're really bringing up a penny stock here, team. This is in the trash as the trash can get. But I'll tell you right now, I kind of believe in the product. They just got hit with some FDA thing. And if they could solve that issue and market the product again, I think they could kill it. This is a tough one. But only 40 cents that I'm probably risking on the company. So it's a troubled name. I will sell you that, team. It's 40 cents. We're talking a little bit longer term investment here. But I don't know, man. I've told myself that I like this one. I haven't really had it. And I've interviewed the company. So like I liked it. I know what it's about, right? I know the story. And I've seen the products. They're still out there. This is like this baby sock that goes on a baby, and it gives you like all these measurements, like kind of readings for your baby, so you can make sure that everything's fine. It's interesting. I'll keep it on the radar.
Mitch, I've got a dip here. So I've got something going on with my internet issue, but I also need to get back to sports. So I'm going to have to drop here. I will be back tomorrow. We're going to be back on it. Have a good one, chat. Another great day here. I'll try and bring the heat again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Always, Ryan. You'll bring the heat, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great one, my friend. All right, let's get back to the trading action. I'm going to keep focus on this GIS to see if we can finally get the lift. I wanted to have some serial on stream, but it isn't looking like I'm getting the serial move right now. So I'm keeping the name on right now. We'll look to see if we get that push. Could run the profits right now and just kind of get slightly above green on the day, but that's not what I'm about. I'm sticking to the position the way that I originally took it. We'll see what happens. Stick to the plan, right? ITW could stop me out today. I am going to give that. That's 232 for the stop out. So still ways away from there. I'm looking for it to get back up into the 240 area. But if we do get below this area, especially this 234 kind of 22 area, that's where I want to get stopped out here. We'll see what happens on ITW. GE is breaking a little bit, so that gives me a little bit more concern. It did do a nice little up move, but now coming back towards the red, it could start cracking down. And eventually I could swing in reverse. I could go short GE if ITW really breaks down. All right, we'll see what else is going on. Let's get to the SPY. SPY going right back to the downside here. So didn't even make it to the VWAP team. Just showing how weak right now it is in these strong names. You got to be careful on names like AI. Talked about how this one could be completely done in pre-market prep. We are coming right back down. It went up to try to do that breakout move, and it's right back down to 22. I think that AI trade is done, so just be careful. This is just my opinion. You got to be careful in names like Sound and those other names because I think they could come down in a hurry. All right, a big thing we'll tell you is Microsoft coming down. I talked about how this one told me that the AI trade was broken. It's continuing on the downside here. So that's also dragging us, right? And that could drag Tesla into the red today. I know it's still looking green, but it could go red here back towards 200. Just keep that in mind. We'll see what happens on that name. You guys in the chat, what are you guys looking at? IBIO, of course, nice little push there. We were talking about how that was starting to come back there. Now it's got that 180 push towards 195. We'll see if it gets to $2 today. These cheaper names, these biotechs have been really good. Not a bad move on those names. ACER had some of these earlier that I was going to take a look at. So I'm just going to quickly flash through them to see if any of these had a nice little move. CPSI, we'll see if that gets another lift there. That's not doing much today. Indy Semiconductor came back there towards the 988s, kind of the levels that I was looking at. I could see this one popping back into the 11s. This one's a smaller name, but I still like it. INDI, Indy Semiconductor. All right, let's go, General Mills. Come on, give me some cereal. Boy's hungry. AI bubble, yeah, it's starting to die out, I feel like, but you got to keep that in mind. Things can always change. All right. What else you guys got out there? Stupid Oatly. Oh, man. Oatly was definitely a crazy one. I remember there was a while there like, oh, but the milk can't even stay in the stores, the supply. It can always turn around. All right. We'll see what happens on that GIS. If I can get the lift. SRNE doesn't look bad at all either. That one looks like it's continuing back here. It could come back there towards like 60, maybe even tries to fill some of this gap. We'll see what happens on that one. VRTX now starting to turn around. This one doesn't look too bad either for kind of a swing trade idea. Of course, this is a more expensive stock, but I'd have to risk off the 290 areas where we came down today. Doesn't look too bad. I'm going to look for pullback on this one to 293s and 292s so I could risk off the 290s. Wouldn't mind VRTX. There we go with GIS. Now we're starting to really make a move. And one thing to notice, look at the 15 minutes starting to show what? More like that advancing soldiers type of play, right? Now we're starting to really get this break here. And if you looked at it like kind of like in a flag mentality, or you're looking at it in a symmetrical triangle mentality, now you're starting to break and hold above this. We would really look for VWAP to hold now 79.80s and give us that push back towards 81. Let's see if we can get that lift and continue pushing. All right, we'll see what other names are making moves here, catching up. How's that Tesla doing? Right back to the downside there. That looks like it wants to go red. I could swing Tesla short, but I have too much on right now, team. I'm just going to focus on what I have. Of course, I got Johnson & Johnson. Not mad about that one. Could add into some Pfizer here near the bottom because I think Pfizer could reverse off of these levels. but Pfizer's a little dangerous, right? Because it has had a decent move. I like the other drug manufacturers also. Look at AbbVie. That's pulled back there towards the support, bounced off of it today. Lilly, that one doesn't look too bad. Eli Lilly, Merck, right back up there towards 109. GSK, you got also AZN. But I'm in this Johnson & Johnson right now, so I'm just trying to keep it simple, and I can add to this one more time if it does get a little lower. We'll see what happens on that Johnson & Johnson. All right, keeping the look on GIS, rejecting that move there. So not getting the move just yet. Still battling out there, team. All right, how's oil doing? XOM now starting to make that move that we talked about on the 5-minute flag. This one doesn't look too bad either. I'm about to wrap up, so I'm not going to day trade this one, but it doesn't look bad. Gush off the bottom does look good there. Hourly candle, we talked about it. Would it recover 129.50s? It's just about to do that. I actually kind of like this level off the 129s. I'm going to actually take a little bit of gush here. See if I can get it here. I like 129s here. $129.06 off the bid. All right, I'm going to take a little bit there and then look to add on it. Let me see if I can get it. I didn't even get a fill on that one right there. All right, 129.38s there. Got a little bit. Willing to add towards 129 and slightly below this. All right, but this is going to be kind of more of that swing approach back on the intraday, back to the upside high. This is more of a day trade reversal style trade, so I'm not going to go in too big. Got to really be careful off that bottoming action off 128s, right? So that's kind of the takeout on the downside. Would like to see XOM take out the highs there, continue a little bit higher. This is the oil trade back to the upside. All right, that's probably going to do it for me. I'm going to start wrapping up in just a few minutes, but we still got a lot for you guys, so definitely smash the like. How we doing out there? Hodel, what's going on, man? How we doing? FYI, lactate milk is awesome. Yeah, that's not too bad. MOB being called out in the chat. We'll see what's going on that one. That one's starting to reverse a little bit. Held the 61.8% retracement. Just to kind of mention retracement levels. Doesn't look too bad there. Talked about how around the 220s levels was a nice level for it to hold. It's starting to reclaim. Look to see if it gets back through 250s. And that's when it could really start pushing back there to threes. Doesn't look too bad on the day. All right. I got so many messages here trying to catch up. Just checking in here, checking up what's going on with Aaron. David Green just canceled, so I don't know if you're going to do a show. Kind of voice gone also. Well, you guys see it. AB probably not going to be doing a show right now. Thought he was coming on here, so I was sticking around with you guys. I'll stick around for another minute or two since I'm taking some trades. But other than that, team, just be careful out there. There's a lot going on. I'm going to focus on this gush. Just only was able to get one ad there, right? No pullback into the 129s as of yet. We'll see what happens on that one if it starts to push. GIS still holding on to that one. Wanted to kind of push it through that level. Going to keep trying to ride this one up and ride the wave. ITW, want this one to stop coming down because it doesn't look good on that one, but it could stop me out on the swing. One of the things that I try not to do on ITW is get out too early. I did this last time, and I got out way too early on the risk side. So I'm going to wait it to stop out at the planned risk. It's okay if I have losses on these swings. The key is they're all very similar on that risk. And it's about the probability, not about one trade, team. All right. Johnson & Johnson can still add to this one more time. I have an order out there below this to add. I still like Johnson & Johnson overall for the reversal back to the upside. I also like Pfizer, but I don't want to go too much into one into one basket. IBB, want to see if that can come back on the day to keep watch on some of the healthcare names. Now, I will let you guys know we will be having an ETF event tomorrow, so I don't want you guys to miss the ETF event. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about it before you guys get out of here. You guys catch tomorrow, ETFs Unlocked. This is going to be from 11 to 2 p.m., right? It's going to be a pretty long show. We got some pretty good ETFs, different ones to take a look at. We're going to also do a little bit of some accounting software look. So if you guys are looking for some accounting software, some trading accounting software, check this out, team. We got Direction ETF, ProShares, Wisdom Tree Commodity Service. Check it out. iShares will be joining us. You don't want to miss it. Some of the biggest ETFs joining us tomorrow on ETFs Unlock. Want you guys to be there. It starts at 11 a.m. It's one of our virtual events that we do here at Benzinga. So you don't want to miss that ETF event. That's going to be tomorrow, 11 a.m. All right, sticking around. We got about 387 of you guys. Please smash the like if you guys can before we get out there. Mob giving a little bit of a push there towards 226. Guys want the degenerate in me wants to jump into Mob with you guys, but I'm slowing down here. I'm slowing down. I don't want to take too many trades while I'm focusing on these other trades, especially because there's just a lot going on today. I even feel like I have a lot of positions going on, so I'm just going to keep battling here. We'll see what happens. Looking for Gush to start pushing into the green here. Gush doesn't look too bad, but I'm not going to add to it. I'm just going to let it work. 129.38 entry. SLB. Ooh, that looks so pretty. Oh, man. This is going to get me a little frustrated on that SLB later today. If it does get a little bit higher and keeps pushing on the day, this is one of my favorite trades on the day. Just missed it. And that really frustrates me. I'll tell you that right now, team. If there's anything that frustrates me, it's when I miss trades. ATLX, big rip on the day here, team. Oil name doing really well. So if you guys are looking for a cheaper name that is pushing strong, this ATLX, lower volume name on the day, right? But look at the daily chart. It is starting to push here towards 10. HLK, also Helix Energy Solution. This one looks interesting, trying to get back up above 910. Smaller name, right behind that ATLX. All right, just looking around, see if we can get a new high there to get a little push there in XOM. Doesn't look too bad. 5-minute flag pattern still flagging out here. Let's go to a 15-minute, kind of see that flag pattern here. If it's really starting to hold, doesn't look too bad, especially if it can get back above 112 on XOM. Catching up with you guys in the chat. What's up out there? Do it yourself, girl. Always here for you. Hodl. One love, always, Rich. Is the event ETF live on YouTube? Yes, it'll be tomorrow. We'll actually redirect you to that so you guys can check out the stream. Just wanted to let you guys know on that. ARBE setting up again here. Doesn't look too bad. I like the pullback. I was looking for pullbacks towards around 1570s. You know, still hasn't pulled back towards that level. But what I like about it is that it's holding the VWAP right now, right? And so a lot of times when I see this holding VWAP, what am I looking for? I'm looking for 3 attempts to break down through VWAP. So you get 1 attempt to break down through VWAP. You get the second attempt to break down through VWAP here. Now you're just getting that third kind of bottom. So look to see if we could get this bottom and close back towards the upside through 690s. That's not a bad outlook there for ARBE. And you could get a wick here towards like 670s and then a reversal back up. So we'll see what happens there. This one did pull back to 66. I like that level off of that really quick pullback on 1040s and then coming to reclaim 7. This doesn't look too bad. A lot of traders watching this one. It's a robotics name. So I would keep that in mind. Here's that 70 attempt to break down. Let's see if we get a recovery right back up through 690s. AMC looking strong today. Not a bad name to at least keep in mind. The power hour, says Christine. Smash the like if you think you're going to get that move. All right, we'll look to see if we recover here. It's back down into 660s on the ARBE, so just be careful there. You are getting that pullback towards like kind of this trend line. Let's go to the 3-minute here. So let's see if we can get this recovery back up, make it a wick towards 67, and then close right back up to 680. So looking at General Mills to see if it can hold VWAP. It's just been that type of day. It's not easy, right, team? Never easy. All right, just catching up with these smaller names, keeping a watch. Stop loss hunt. Yeah, I'm sure there's some stop loss hunt on that ARBE. As you're getting some stop outs there, looking to see if it can recover the 67 on the 3-minute. It still hasn't done that. Gush pulling back here towards the 129.90s now. Could get an ad there. Just got an ad at, now I'm at 129.14. Got to hold off the 128 levels. Going to look to see if Gush can continue back to the upside. I'm going to cancel the next ad on Gush there, just in case it pulls back right now. I can still watch it, look for the reversal back to the upside. How's that SGML? Never pulling back to give me the entries there, man. That one stayed strong, guys. SGML. A little annoyed that I missed that reversal off the 33s. This one doesn't look too bad. Wasn't able to grab that one today, team, so keep your eyes on it. All right, let's go back towards that one, that ARBE. I'm going to put up multiple charts here. That one doesn't look good. It's definitely hitting down there through those levels. Don't like that pullback there for ARBE. Looks like it might just be washing here a little bit. We'll look to see if it recovers. Doesn't look the best right now. Getting back towards my Gush trade to see if we can get back above the 129.50s. That would be a good outlook, especially towards the 130s. XOM back to the upside through this kind of flag pattern going towards 112 would be a good outlook there. We'll see what happens. All right, team, it looks like you guys have been sticking around. It's about 11:07, so I'm going to do my best to go ahead and wrap up here. I would stick around for a little bit longer, but I got to go ahead and start getting ready for some other shows and some other opportunities for you guys to continue building here on Benzinga, like, of course, our book club. I want to do more and more for our book club. We're about to wrap up the first book already getting through the first book here, Trading in the Zone. Our first book of the year. We're in the last chapters. So if you guys want to join the book club and haven't joined so already, you're missing out, team. Go ahead and join us. We're going to get into some more books and definitely keep pushing, whether it be investments, whether it be pattern-wise. And we're going to go ahead and review it for you guys. Give the opportunity for you guys to make a selection. We'll be sending out that email either later today or tomorrow morning. I'm thinking tomorrow morning so that we can go ahead and just start looking at what book we're going to get into after Trading in the Zone. Of course, I want you guys to have some time to get that book. We do got Matt Higgins that sent me something, a package. So you guys, if you guys like a shark, yes, we're talking almost $1 billion man, right? Check it out. We're going to be looking into Burn the Boats. That's by Matt Higgins. That's definitely a potential opportunity that we're going to read. I know he just sent me it. I'm going to take a look at that a little bit later today. Smash the like. All right, let's go. How do you join, Julie? I'll tell you right now. I'll give you guys the link. All right, so you want to be joining. What you want to do is go to this book club list and at least just give some information here. What it's really all about is that we're trying to send this exclusively through email. So you guys get an unlisted YouTube so that you guys can go ahead and take a look at it. It's exclusive, only for the members that are in it. But it's free. Yes, I said it. FREE. It's free. Join, right? If you want to boost your skills to the next level, have deeper conversations about maybe trading psychology. And really, that's what we get into. We go to deeper conversations. We did a walkthrough trade on Sunday on Microsoft. It was awesome because we had different traders taking a look at what risks they would take, when they would take profits, right? Would they wait to their profit? Would they wait to their risk to get out? It's always important to focus on risk preservation and trading in the zone. All right, let's get back to the SPY action. What's going on there? Looks like we're coming through the lows down towards 401.10s. You guys know I've been looking for a move back towards 400, towards the 463s. And if you guys don't believe that, I mean, hey, my man Ed from our book club put it out this morning. He even put a tweet out. He put me on blast out there. He said, you know what? I know that guy, Mitch, man. He ain't going to shy away from this mention. And he went and he put out there, he said, well, I'm looking for that cut down towards 400. And he put me out there. I can't blame him for it. But, hey, we're getting there towards the 400. We're almost there. Really, what I'm looking at is if are we going to bounce there? Because I think it's very important to kind of catch that out to see if we're going to bounce at these levels. And the book club is awesome, team. We do things like this. I'll show you guys something that we did for the book club. All right, so for the book club, we did a daily Mamba trading mantra, of course, so that you guys can stick it up on the corner of your, what we talked about, do this on your bathroom, right? Go through things like this, trading psychology, right? Anything can happen. You don't need to know what's going to happen next to make money. This is why you want to be joining the book club. It's really fun. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it's the best book club ever yet, but I promise that I'm going to make it the best book club because I really, truly enjoy this. I do this off of my free time, right? This is on Sundays. I could easily just take the night off, but I really, truly think that I even get some advantages here. I learn. So if you guys want to continue learning, join the book club. All right, I'll throw it up one more time, the link there, and we're going to start wrapping up. I'll take a review on what's going on out there, but definitely, if you guys aren't following me, keep up with all my action, especially now that I'm verified on Twitter. I can put out some more kind of tweets out there. We'll find out what's going on. I was looking for that 400, right? We'll see what's going on. Can we get there? Almost there right now. Look at this post here, my man, Average Joe Trader. If you guys don't know, Average Joe Trader has been joining us on the book club, so definitely check him out. Who thinks we'll hit 400 on the SPY tomorrow? I know Money Mitch thinks so. Let's see if we get there. See if we get there. 496, talked about the levels of 460s, potentially maybe causing some support. Could go down below that towards, let's say, 428, around the 400s. I expect to find some support, at least some kind of bounce. We'll look to see if the bulls put up a wall in front of this. GIS is going to be my top play on the day as long as it can keep holding and give me that push up. We'll look to see if we get it. A lot of times I would run to profits here, but it's tough. It's tough not to run to profits. I'm going to keep holding to what? The plan. Plan the trade. Trade the plan, right? I know someone wise said that out there. I'm going to keep going. Let's see if this can push back there towards the 80-50 and really get us our profits. All right, Gush still looking not too bad. It just pulled back to the 129. Going to look to see if we can keep holding, right? We talked about this hourly reversal back towards 129.50s. It got the candle right below that body. So let's see if we can really get the green candle now back towards 130. Really want to see it break through 129. That could be the continuation through to 128. We'll see what happens now if it can continue to lift. Let's get back to some of the other stocks out there. Oil names, XOM, we're going to look to see if that can get back up there. Tesla now down to 203s, looking like a little bit. It got hit hard today. Microsoft still leaking out. That's not good for the overall market, right? Apple overall still leaking here, now cutting through that 150 where the bulls had control. All right, let's get back towards another chart with some of our bigger names, right? We can go to Google, that was weak earlier. Hasn't really done much today, kind of going sideways and holding in there. Industrials taking a big beating, though. This is something that I got to note. This is why I might get out of ITW today. It could stop me out on this cut. We'll find out if we do get cut on ITW. But names like Cat pulling back today. Names like Beer pulling back today. Be careful on those. Picard pulling back today. The industrials getting hit hard here as they start taking a downside hit. Consumer cyclical, those high beta names really turning around. Be careful on names like that. Gambling, lodging, apparel, all those names starting to come down, and they could come down fast. Nike coming down today. Under Armour, red there. I like Foot Locker for the short earlier last week. That's really starting to actually play out. The 45 cut down was a good level to look for the shorts. We're coming down to 42.90s. Look to see if that can keep coming down. All right, new high of day on AM. There you guys see it, $5. Nice little pullback towards the VWAP. Talked about how it could stop out those people that were getting in the 490s. Come back. It didn't even go to the VWAP. Let me see if it went to the VWAP on the 1. No, it didn't even come back towards it. 467. Definitely a strong name there. All right, there's Gush. Gush now starting to get up there, not looking too bad for me, starting to get into the green. GIS making a little bit of a move. I want my cereal today, baby. Ready to wrap it up and go take some cereal because I need some breakfast. I just want GIS to get it to me. All right, that's going to do it for me, team. Smash the like, 324 of you guys. I want something that I want to go ahead and give some feedback. I want to get some feedback from you guys. You guys that watch us every single day, right? That are here with the team, the live trading stream. What do you guys want to see after this when I get down? Because let's just be honest, team. I can't be here from 8 in the morning all the way to 4 p.m. I got to go get some breakfast, right? So I want you guys to tell me, what do you guys want to see after this? Is it a live trading show? Is it some interviews? Is it someone else just hopping on and staying with the markets? If that's what you guys want to see, all I need from you guys is to tell me that that's what it is. I'll make it happen. That's what it's all about here at Benzinga. We're always looking to get feedback from you guys. So reach out to me if you guys don't want to just put it into the chat. You guys can email me, mitch@benzinga.com, of course, or shows@benzinga.com, and let us know what you want to see. We want to bring more of it right here on Benzinga. All right, that's going to do it for me. Smash it up, team. I'll see if I'm able to get that cereal trade or not. Looking like it's starting to push there, but come on. Come on, GIS. Get me some cereal on the day. One thing I did like, though, it came back and held VWAP. We talked about that earlier. Once a stock starts claiming VWAP, it's okay to cut through it on a wick, not okay to cut through it on the close, right? So we got up above there. It came back, finally started holding as we started pushing through this 80. We got above 80s. It held the pullback right to the VWAP, 79.73. VWAP, it went to 79.74. Now bouncing up. We want to get through that 80.32 and then start pushing to 81. We'll see what happens there. All right, team, that's going to do it for me. Smash up the like. I do like the feedback in the chat. Move your swing trading show to 11 a.m., says Beach Bum. It's not a bad idea. It really isn't. My thing with swing trading is that a lot of times we take swings turn really close towards the close. And why do we take it close to the close? Is that I look at the daily charts a lot of the times, and I'm looking for right around the daily close level to take that swing, right? Well, I don't mind moving it to 11. If you guys would show up there and stick around, that's what we could figure it out. But like always, I can't go all the way to 4, but I want you guys to keep telling us what you want to see. Teaching and trading, not news, rambling like other shows with hosts who don't know how to trade. Speaking to the choir there, right? That's why I like being a host here. That's why I like doing this kind of anchor experience, because you guys know I'm always trying to get better on my trading game. And that's the truth. That's why when I talk to experts, I love to hear what they have to say, because I'm in the work. I'm trying to make this money, right? Well, We'll see what happens. Like always, we'll keep battling. GIS to 80.27s. Want to see it pop above that 80.50, and I'll take some profits into the 80.80. We'll see you guys a little bit later. You were right about shorting Tesla. Yeah, I know. It's a tough trade, though. Remember, you guys, I was in Tesla at 211.34s when we recently went back through. Glad I stopped out. But sometimes it's okay to get back to the trade. That's what I struggle with right now. Sometimes you got to catch things right there. I can catch it while I'm talking to you guys live. I need to write down moments like that, right? You need to understand that you can get back into the trade after the break even stop out if it's going back into your favor. Reestablish the risk, right? Play with some house money that you already made and see if you can get the move right back down. All right, team, that's going to do it for me. Smash the like button. I hope that you guys enjoyed the action here. Always trying to push forward, Tony. I appreciate you, my friend, sticking around with us. All right, that's going to do it for us. I'll see you guys in a little bit. A little bit later today, we will have start swing trading, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. I have a trader joining me today that will be giving us a nice outlook of the overall market. I will be looking into these swing trades. Got a lot of them on right now. Swing trade style. I got about two names in. UAL did get stopped out. Do want to let you guys know about that one. Just got stopped out on United Airlines. And hasn't been the best day for these swing trades, at least because I did get a break-even stop out in KHC. Did get a full stop out there in UAL as it comes back through the 48.50 area. Didn't want to hold there through towards the 48.35s. We'll see what happens on that one as airlines start to reject. That's going to do it. I'll see you guys a little later. Smash the like button. Always fun to stick around with you guys. The real squad, the live trading squad, always here for the action.